Morning, guys. This is Grant from playersaid.com. I'm unboxing today. Actually, I'm going to do quite a few unboxings. We've been pretty fortunate. We have received for some review copies over the past couple of weeks. We also spent quite a bit of money at WBC and Gen Con buying different games. So we're going to get around. I'm going to get around, get off my duff and do some unboxings. So today I wanted to unbox Heroes of Normandy from the Lock and Load Tactical System from Lock and Load Publishing. I own Heroes of the Pacific. Alexander owns a couple of these as well. And I have another one, Heroes Against the Red Star, that I need to unbox. But if you don't know, Lock and Load Tactical is a fantastic tactical system. We have really enjoyed our plays of it. It's engaging and interesting. The rules are generally easy to pick up. I did do a written review of Heroes of the Pacific. There were some elements that I didn't quite understand, but since we've played more and I get them understand them much better now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you through Heroes of Normandy. So here I'll give you a look at the side box. This is a 3-inch box, huge. And you'll see when I open it up, there's plenty of room for expansions, and I'm actually going to open up one of the expansions that I have. But there's a look at Heroes of Normandy. Really nice box, nice art. They do a great job with their games, Lock and Load Publishing. So the first thing you notice is this is the Lock and Load Tactical World War II era rules set. Covers 1930 to 1959. This is version 4.1. And if you didn't know, they just came out with an updated new version of the Lock and Load Tactical series. It's about a 75-page book. I actually have that as well. I need to read through that so I can get clear on all the updates and some of the better explanations showing the rules. But here, these are the series rules, right? So these are rules that are going to cover, in general, what happens in Lock and Load Tactical, from how you move, the stacking limits, morale, how you fire, different other types of support weapons, mortars, or offboard artillery, airstrikes, etc. And you can see this is a full color rule book. They are really great with their rule books, I think. They have hard card covers, so they're going to wear very, very well. But you can see the rule book is about 65 pages. There's some pages in there that are credits. There is a glossary. Very important to have a glossary to explain different terms. There's also, let me go back to the front. You can see there's a table of contents with page references to, let's say you wanted to learn about ordnance firing. You're going to go to section 14.0. And it is contained in pages 35 through 38. Very, very helpful. These are really good resources. They also have, it's full color, very nice looking. They also have here's some line of sight diagrams to help explain examples of how to do that. I think they do a great job of that. So yeah, there's a look at, once again, the series rule book. So these are the rules that cover, in general, the series. Then, almost as thick of a book, you've got the module rules and scenarios. So this book, which is also full color, hardbound with a card, contains the scenarios. Let's look here at the list of scenarios. Yeah, they start there on basically... Sorry, I'm having trouble here, guys. They start basically on page 10 of this rule book. You can see right here, scenario information, and there are a ton of scenarios. I bet there's 20 scenarios in this book. And these are all revolved around the D-Day landings at Normandy during World War II. And here's just a real quick look at all their different types of Lock and Load Tactical. I have Heroes of the Pacific, and now Normandy. Alexander has Heroes of the Falklands, Heroes Against the Red Star, and there's so many. There's modern ones you can see there. They really do a good job, and if you like tactical warfare, you're going to love Lock and Load Tactical. So here's a look at the scenarios. Here's how a scenario is set up. It'll give you order of battle, so you're going to know what counters to use. You're going to get them out. Then they'll tell you about how to set up, what reinforcements are coming. Here's a look at the playable area, the length of the scenario. This one happens to be 6 turns, and the initiative, it goes to the Americans at first, and then it tells you how victory conditions are determined. They also, just like many of these tactical games, there will be special scenario rules. It looks like this one has some rules for confusion, and you're going to do those things and follow those. But really nice done. Look at that's a beautiful picture. Back the attack. Really great. Lots of historical detail. They do a great job. I enjoyed Heroes of the Pacific quite a bit. We also now have the Lock and Load Tactical Solo system, and I'm going to definitely give that a try. But there you go. There's over 20 scenarios in this book. So once again, we looked at the system rules, which was about a 60-page book, and then we looked at the scenario rules and the scenarios themselves, and that's about a 90-page book. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Now we're going to go ahead and pull out the cards. I'm actually going to move this box over here. We'll look at that later. Counters are gorgeous, by the way. And the maps that they use here are more like cards. They're not full 8.5 by 11 or larger sized maps, but they are cards, and they might tell you in any given scenario, for instance, put map 13 and 14 together, and that would be your fighting surface. So pretty simple. They are not double-sided. They are single-sided, but there are a lot of different types. There are buildings here. There are fields, orchards. There are points with elevation, crisscrossed in roads. So here's another interesting one. You could do a full-on assault on a city or a town, maybe St. Mary-Église. You're going to land here. Actually, here's a church. So maybe this is St. Mary-Église. But they do really great with the maps. Here's a bridge crossing. So Pegasus Bridge, maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked at the different scenarios enough to know. But there you go. Really great looking maps. And looks like there are, how many did we count? 6 of those? 1, 2, 3. There are 6 cards, which gives you actually enough for about 30 different maps. You could line them up all differently and target them out. Maybe it's not 30, but my math is terrible. Sorry. But you can see, really well done. The terrain is great. Colors are fantastic. Here you have obvious differences between the terrains. Here's a look at the bridge. The river, very cool, very nice. There's some bocage on both sides. So yeah, very cool. I'm excited about this one. I really enjoy the World War II elements of the system, and I really like anything that's West Front. Now we actually have, I'm going to show you, we have 6 counter sheets. Lots of different units, lots of different administrative markers, fired markers, fortifications. We have British units. Here's a look at, here, I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Here's a look at some of the British units. You can see the Red Devils, the airborne here. So very nice. Lots of different options for you, different types of guns. There's Bren guns, etc. There are tanks and other vehicles, jeeps, tanks, self-propelled guns, mortars, all kinds of heavy machine guns, etc. Typical for a tactical game, you've got smoke, you've got star shells, which are used for illumination. Very nice. Here's a look at some other tanks. Very well done. They are double-sided counters. I also, looking at this, you can see there's some really cool counters here for buildings, and it says upper level on them, and you can actually see, if you can get really close, you can see there's some machine gun fire coming out of the windows there. So obviously that's, some scenario involves troops on either multiple levels of a building or in the upper levels, etc. But you can see there's a lot of tactical options, low crawl, moving, You have to spot units before you can fire. There's foxholes. There's other fortifications. Here's wire and bunker counters. So a very neat system. That's a look at some of those administrative counters. Let's go ahead and check out the Americans. And I feel like these counters are a little washed out because my light is not great here this morning. It's about 9 a.m. and really the sunlight's not great. But here's a look at some of those counters. Here's some of the leaders. They're really, really well done. Nice counters. I'm gonna go ahead and pop one out and get you a close-up look there, but that's a sniper. Very well done. Lots of counters. Definitely need to organize these with a tray. Double-sided units. Here there may be some hidden, these may be hidden elements that are used or drawn from a cup. Once again, that would be a scenario-specific rule. So there's a look at some of the Americans. You have another whole sheet of American counters, and then you've got some Germans. So, whoops, I just popped out a tank. The tanks are obviously bigger. Counters are about double the size of infantry. But the other thing I really like about Lock and Load Tactical is it is a combined arms tactical system. So yeah, here's a look at some of those German troops. These are just German rifle companies. I like the silhouettes on there. They're dual-sided counters. A neat system that I've enjoyed playing, and I'm looking forward to getting this one to the table. So there's some German counters, and then here's some other German different units. There's a look at the tank hatches can be opened. There's bazookas, Panzerschrecks, Panzerfausts, MG-34s. There's anti-aircraft guns. Very cool. Anyway, great looking counters. They do a great job with this system. Game also comes with some 6-sided dice. We'll throw those there. And then a multitude of player aid cards. There's at least 3 different types. Quick rule references for firing. But this is a look at the player aid card. Terrain effects. Different units and how those fortifications work. Just different notes on those counters. And then here you can see there are modifiers for fire attacks. Very well done. I remember playing the few times we've played Heroes of the Pacific. You know, you can really use the rule book more as a reference and use all these cards to play the game, which is really well done. But yeah, there's skills. Forgot to talk to you about the skills. Sometimes on counters, there's symbols that have different skills that are used specifically to do certain things. So that's another neat element in their tactical system. Other rules, reference charts, weapons, ammos. Here's just a turn track. I don't know how interesting this part of the unboxing is for you, but here's another reference card for different types, mortars, British Airborne, gliders, because some of those scenarios have gliders. And then here's just a reference for counters, what the numbers mean. Always find that fun because each tactical system has somewhat different, slightly different rules. So yeah, guys, that's a look real briefly at Heroes of Normandy, what you can expect to find in the box of that. I've also got a surprise. David Heath gave me a copy of this at WBC, David Heath from Lock and Load. So this is called The Heroes of Normandy, The Untold Stories. I'm going to put this right here and talk about it a little bit. If you remember from our Origins interview with David, he talked about a new thing that they are trying to do to add additional scenarios to each of the systems. They are actually going to write a book. This is actually a book. Not a huge book, but you'll notice it says Volume 1. This book, I think, contains 4 to 6 stories. But is very well done. I want to read this, and it's a fairly quick read. The type is big, but you'll notice, so this story is called The Stovepipe Bluff. It is the first story in this book. It's about 30 pages, and then you've got Mac the Knife. But what they've tried to do with this new offering And here's some rules for that, just some module rules and scenarios. So they've actually created these scenarios. Let me go ahead and go back to the Stovepipe Bluff. So you'll notice here, the Stovepipe Bluff, they have actually created a scenario based off the story that's found in this book. And that story was written by, I have not looked at Howard Jones. He's listed as one of the authors there. But they've actually created a scenario based around this story, which I think is really awesome. I think it's, once again, an innovation that Lock and Load is doing that I think will catch on. If there's anything about wargamers that I know, most of us crave stories of history. Now, these may be fiction, but I'm not sure. They may be based on stories and then embellished or added to. But they're stories. They're stories about World War II, different missions, different elements. But here is a scenario based on that. And then you can see they have some maps, and I'll show you the maps here in just a moment. I've covered them up. But yeah, I think that's a real. Then you got Mac the Knife, which is the second story in that book. And you can see it goes through. Mission of Vengeance is another one. The Reluctant Shepherd is another. The Church, which, remember I showed you that one area on the map that looked like a church and a bell tower. But that's what that is. And now I'm going to show you the maps. So these maps, these are the oversized maps. So these are going to be used in those scenarios. They go along with those scenarios. Once again, they may tell you to put number 63 and number 64 together for a big map. But this supplement comes with 3 different maps, and they look really nice, just as nice as the original scenario maps. But yeah, that's Heroes of Normandy, The Untold Stories. So I thought I would go ahead and unbox these things together and show you. I'm excited about this book. I'm definitely going to give it a read and then try to give you my thoughts on it, because I think this is an interesting approach. I think David said at Origins they were going to do this for a lot of the volumes. They were going to commission these books, have them written and shipped, and this just happens to be the first one. So thank you, David, for doing this, and thank you for providing us a copy. I definitely will look forward to reading this and then playing those scenarios, because once again, more scenarios is never a bad thing. Never, ever a bad thing, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, there's a look at the Heroes of Normandy from Lock and Load Publishing. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe. We actually, the other day, eclipsed 3,000 subscribers, and Alexander and I were kind of joking. We had no idea. When we started this about a year and a half ago, the YouTube channel, I guess we started it almost 2 years ago. I don't know that we thought we would get a couple hundred subscribers, and I thought most of those would be our friends and family. But it's been kind of crazy. It's been humbling to see the response. We love the comments. We love to hear that people like what we're doing, that they enjoy what we're doing. That's something that I just don't know that I expected. I know in this world today, there's a lot of criticism and a lot of negativity, but we really have encountered very little of that, and we have appreciated everybody that has watched our videos. So thank you for that, guys. We appreciate it. But yeah, there's a look at Heroes of Normandy. Check out our other videos, and you can also check out our written blog at theplayersaid.com. I've been Grant for The Player's Aid, and thank you for allowing me to show you this great looking game. Thank you.